Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you have been watching, my YouTube videos, I have been doing a lot of digital art recently, and it is not my strong suit, like whatsoever. It is not, what I am naturally good at. I am definitely a traditional artist, but I do want to get better at digital. So I have decided to take it upon myself to read and go through the ibis tutorials. It was pretty humbling. I've never really had to read or watch a tutorial for art before because it comes very naturally to me, but it was a pretty thrilling experience because I was able to figure out things that I didn't know how to do but saw other people doing it. So it was pretty awesome at the end. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. Alright, so the first step that the ibis tutorials told me to do was, for traditional artists, the easiest way to move into digital art is to actually sketch out what you want to draw on paper and then take a photo of it and upload it to your ibis paint, which is such an amazing idea. I can't believe I never really thought of that. But I didn't really have any inspiration, so I decided to go onto Pinterest and find some. Actually took a pretty long time to find a photo that I wanted to use, but in the end I was able to find one, and yeah. In the end, this is the photo that I chose, and I'm actually pretty proud of it, like how it turned out. But I really think it's cute. I think the model is just stunning, and it's a pretty simple pose to start off with. So the next thing I did was I grabbed my sketchbook, and I have sticky notes on the pages that I haven't colored on. So I took that off and I started to sketch out what I was seeing. This process did take around 30 minutes to do, but honestly it was pretty relaxing, especially since I had a pretty mentally draining day before filming this. So yeah, I actually really like how it turned out. And for people who are like watching and not just listening, the reason why the brightness did go up is because on the other films I can't turn the brightness up because of the laptop. You guys won't be able to see what is happening on the laptop. When I start doing the actual digital art and the digital process of it, I'll have a pop-up on the right side of the screen so you guys can actually see more clearly what I am drawing. So this is the final sketch. I'm going to upload the sketch and send it to the ibis paint. You can see me reading and following the tutorials on the left side of the screen. All you have to do if you're wondering to look up these tutorials is just search up in Google ibis paint tutorials, and a link from the actual ibis website will pop up and you will get a bunch of tutorials on how to use them. It was basically just telling me what type of brush I should use, how to move the layers around, etc. So for the first step, it basically told me that after you uploaded your sketch, you're gonna turn down the opacity of the sketch, add a second layer, and sketch on top of it. Basic pens that they offer, which is the second one, and I'm pretty sure it's called the hard smooth one. It's the second option. I had it to thickness of just 1, and it was pretty straightforward from there. The next thing it was telling me to do was how to use the lasso tool and how to flip it, and once I figured out that when you circle like the lasso tool, everything that you color on top of it stays inside it, my mind exploded. I was like, that's what they do, that's how they keep it inside the lines. So yeah, it was a pretty eye-opening experience, and when I flipped the canvas, that was also an eye-opening experience because those eyes were not even a little bit. The next step was coloring, and so I added an additional layer. It told me that every single thing that you're going to color, so skin, hair, accessories, eyes, all of that has to be in a separate layer. It's a lot easier for your future self when you're shading. But yeah, I used the lasso tool to color in the base coats, and it was just so much easier. It really just made my day. The next thing it did was teach me how to use the clipping tool, and trust me when I tell you, when I figured out how to use this tool, I got so giddy because I was like, this is what I have been dying to figure out how to use. So it taught me how to use shading with it, and it recommended one of the top airbrushes that they use. I got so giddy, y'all. I was just so happy. The next thing it was teaching me to do was how to use highlights and shadows on the hair. Now for the highlights, of course, for everything there's going to be a separate layer. For the highlights of the hair, they told me to put it on to add for like the mode, and then for shadows it's going to be multiply. For highlights, it told me to use another airbrush, but a different type of airbrush, and just go over it. Also clip it down to the base hair. I'm not really good at explaining how to do it, but again, they do a great job at explaining how to do it, so I would definitely recommend looking at their tutorials if you are like me and struggle with digital art. But I was pretty proud of how it turned out at the end. I was struggling a bit at the beginning, but once I figured out like how to have the shadow kind of fade with the highlight, I was pretty pleased. The next thing that it wanted to teach me was how to use the patterns that they give you in IBIS Paint. All you have to do is go up to the top right button, it kind of just looks like an image, and find the pattern that you want to use. And if you want it to be over, you're gonna have to clip it and have that layer over the section that you want it on. I used it for the hat. I tried to find like a straw hat texture. Obviously it's not really like that, but it's the closest I could do, and I wanted to incorporate a pattern since the tutorial gave a pattern, so I thought, why not use it for the hat? And the last thing that it wanted to teach me was how to use the pattern, but as a background. So I tried to find a sky, and I put it in the background, so the bottom layer at all of the layer lists. Then there really wasn't anything else left that it wanted to teach me, so I used the skills I have learned to finish up the drawing with the eyes and then the accessories. They're a little slushy. I think it turned out really, really good, and I'm pretty proud of it. Comparing it to my other digital arts, I think there is an improvement. Just, comment down below. Let me know if it has improved. I definitely think it has, and the tutorials did help me a lot. If you have made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe a little share, it really helps me out a lot. Just supporting a small artist trying to get her word out there. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and continue to grow, fellow artists. Don't give up. Mwah!